What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of How to Build. This is the beginner's guide, the starter's guide to FIFA Ultimate Team 21. So, who is this guy? A bit of a different look, after episode 1. We had to shave, every once in a while you got to clean your face when you got a beard and stuff like that. Got a fresh new trim, so I look like I'm like 10 years old again. Actually, maybe that's ambitious. I don't look like I'm that young, but, look different than I did in episode 1. Same guy. Same long-winded answers, but, same series. So, I apologize to you guys for taking a little bit longer to get episode 2 out. What happened was I shot episode 2, and I had everything chopped up. It was all about the SBCs and how to basically go from where we left off on episode 1. And after I shot it, I went to go review the footage, and I saw that it was all corrupted. And to be honest with you guys, I just got really discouraged, and I thought, well, there goes this whole series. And I was thinking, do I have to scrap this, and what am I going to do? And then I thought, you know what, we can get around this. I eventually kind of stopped feeling bad for myself on this, and I was just like, I'm just going to pick myself up and figure out a way to do this. So some of the footage actually ended up lasting or surviving, I guess, which is kind of what you guys are seeing at the very start. I was able to finish off some stuff on Sunday night. But the stuff that actually showed me how to put together those SBCs was all gone. It was all useless. So what you guys are seeing here is me kind of going in after and showing what I was able to complete. The reality is this stuff was actually not that exciting to watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain here from a post-com standpoint what to really do with this. So let's get started. We finished off our first episode with getting a pack that got us Arturo Vidal and a couple other players. The Let's Get Started, you can do that really, really cheap. That unlocks all the other SBCs. Just go on Futbin, futbin.com, Futbin. Look at the solutions for it. Pick the lowest one. One of the things to really take into account is make sure you're looking at the loyalty. It says, it has these other columns next to it, and it'll say, how many players require loyalty. If you guys have no idea what loyalty is, loyalty means that if you're getting a brand new player, he's considered a first owner player. If you went and bought him off the transfer list, he is considered bought off the transfer list. So the player that you had, that you packed, or you got from an SBC will have more chemistry value on the chemistry, as you guys are seeing there on the screen. And that will have more loyalty. So if it says you need 6 players with loyalty, you'll need to have 6 guys that you packed or you built. You can't just go buy 10 players or 11 players off the market. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation, but one of the things that you guys need to also watch for is with the Futbin solutions is that people just look at Futbin and they think, I'm just going to build this, it's like 6K, and they build those exact players. Now, it almost habitually ends up being more than that, and the reason for that is twofold. One, people are just lazy. They just go out and they buy those same players, and it just eliminates guys off the market and drives the prices up. And the other reason you shouldn't do that is because you are probably not going to have all those guys in your squad. So what I like to do is just look at the concept that the person has built there. Sometimes it's like a puzzle. It's like a Rubik's Cube, right? Rubik's Cube is not always the same exact way for everybody who's doing a Rubik's Cube, but the formulas are the same in order to move certain things, certain places. So it doesn't matter if you've got the exact leagues or the exact players. Just figure out how many strong links do you need? How many soft links do you need? Do you need a certain amount of players from certain nationalities or from certain leagues? And then go into your club, see what you guys have in your club at your disposal, go into that SBC, put together as much as you can, and then you go on the market to fill in those little gaps. So that's what I recommend doing. So we were able to do those first two, the Let's Get Started, and then the League and Nations Basics or something like that. It was very cheap to do. Didn't really give us very much, so you guys actually didn't miss much. We didn't pack anything of real significance. We just got some low-end players, and we were able to essentially almost do them for free. Not exactly for free, but it cost us a couple K here and there, and we just filled up our club with more and more stuff. Right now, this is just still the beginning, right? I know the game's been out for a couple weeks, but this is for you guys that are trying to figure out how to get started and just feel like every time you go and play a game, you're just buying more contracts or whatever. This is really for beginners, right? So that's why I'm spending so much time in the SBC stuff, is because anybody can just go play games. You can go play games. but they're really not the best use of time. This is a way to quickly figure out what to do and what is of use and what stuff to avoid. So in this episode, I'm kind of all over the place here, but in this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of the cheap SBCs that I recommend doing, and then we're going to figure out how to expedite all of that stuff to get right into a high-paying SBC to get us a 50K pack, which is going to be very, very valuable. EA kind of try to put you on this path to have you kind of guide your way into like the more high-ranking SBCs, but I'm going to show you guys you don't have to really do that. In fact, there's a lot of coin sink SBCs that are just going to be ways that you'll be wasting money and wasting coins on doing stuff that you really don't need to be doing, and the real money makers are right there in front of you, and you can actually do them for a lot cheaper than you expected. There's actually some benefit to doing them in week 3 as opposed to doing it in week 1, because a lot of players have been packed over the last 2-3 weeks, and the prices of players are at an all-time low, and I'll explain why in a bit. So what I did was I went in there, you guys kind of saw the team, and right now what I'm doing is I needed to go in, and I believe I had to, I think this was just a squad battles game, excuse me. So we actually had one squad battles game at the very start. I was thinking this was a friendlies. The friendlies come later, but I went in and just played a squad battles game because I needed to get a couple more coins in order to do one of the other SBCs that I needed to finish. So this is actually 2 days. This is part of Sunday, and then some of it was today. So this was still footage from Sunday. I wanted to go in there, just play one squad battles game, kind of get a few more points. We weren't anywhere near getting like silver 1, gold 3, gold 2, or anything like that. We actually ended up finishing on silver 3, which you guys will see the rewards in a little bit. But this was just one of those games, and I think we just needed some coins because we were at a point where we couldn't do the next SBC. So I just ended up going in. The only game that you guys saw from episode 1, or I don't remember if it was in episode 1, but it was just me going in with my, literally it had bronze players, a hodgepodge team, and we just played against the computer on really simple, like amateur, I believe. And then this one, I was actually able to put together a team, as you guys are seeing here, that had some actual chemistry to it, 100% chemistry, but all the cards were really crap, and we built it for like 2 or 3K, right? Like Rodriguez was the guy that we packed. I think Pereira was the most expensive player, who was like, 800 coins or something like that, but like Saka was 400, Traore was 400. All of these other filler guys, they were just really, really low-end players. And the reason that I bought those guys were, one, they're fast. Pace is just going to be so important. The old John Madden EA Sports adage, speed kills, and it's always been important in FIFA. So when you're buying guys, look for speed, especially early on here. It's the most important stat, just because nobody's stats are really super high unless you're like getting Neymar or Mbappe or Ronaldo or Messi or something like that, or one of these like really high rated cards. But even these guys, like, you can do that stuff for free, but the ones to watches are a whole other conversation. I don't recommend dumping money in all of this stuff. Like, just buy very, very cheap beast cards, and we'll get to some of the other ones in a bit, but like the stuff that I did to just literally get yourself onto the pitch to play a game, 400, 500 coins, like just gold rare cards. I don't even take these guys online. I just recommend getting them, playing a bunch of squad battles games, get the rewards up for Sunday, like build yourself up, get used to the gameplay, figure out what's kind of meta, what works, what doesn't work, how you play around with your chemistry, play around with the different formations, play around with your custom tactics, all of that stuff. And we'll get to all of that. There's going to be a ton of gameplay in this series, but right now it's just play the odd game just to kind of mix it up, but it gives you an influx of coins. And especially once you get those coin boosts from the objectives menu at the top there. Also, some of the rewards will give you like, 5 games of 500 coins. That stuff is invaluable early on, because like every time you play a game, if you get 1,000 coins, that's just another player that you can put into your squad. So those guys like Saka, 400 coins, they're just going to go up and up and up, because as FIFA goes on, people stop buying regular gold packs. They just buy like EA just start releasing like jumbo rare gold players packs that just have like 24, or ultimate packs that have like 30 all gold rare. So they stop getting things like position changes, like they stop getting things like chemistry styles. They stop getting non-rare gold players. So these players are going to go up and up and up. A guy's not going to get cheaper than 400 coins. He's really not. You might be able to get the odd guy for 350, but it's not really worth sitting there trying to snipe one of those guys. If you can find one, great. But if they're in a major league and they're 350 coins, they're going to go up. And the reason they're going to go up is eventually EA is going to release league SBCs that have every team in the league having its own SBC, and you're going to need all those players to do it. So a guy like Saka, for example, he'll jump up to 800 coins or 1,000 coins or maybe even more, right? Just because the card's going to be in so much demand in order to put him into that SBC. Everyone's going to be doing them. All right now, these guys are just absolutely through the floor. So I'll show you guys a bit later some guys that are very cheap that are going to be very usable. But right now, if you're just looking to get your team on the pitch, go out and spend 400 or 500 coins. Don't spend any more. You can put together enough to play against the computer. And then once you're ready to play online, there's guys that will be 2,000-3,000 coins a piece, which is really cheap. It's easy to put that together. But right now, we're not even at that point. Right now, we're just kind of getting things going and looking to get some of those SBCs, so maybe we can get a big pull here and there. So I did go in and I played a friendlies. The reason that I played the friendlies was friendlies are terrible. They're just something that you have to do. EA forces you to try to play them in order to get that daily objective, which is just like XP or experience points, and I needed XP in order to get to the next objective, which is going to be the premium gold players pack, or it might even have been a premium gold pack, but I just needed to get it. I needed to get, like, any pack that I can. So there you go, premium gold pack. We had to go in and play a really annoying game of swaps or whatever it was in order to just do that, but that comes out every single day. They want people to go in and play the friendlies mode, but you don't really need to. It's just if you need some free XP points, go in and play that. So we end up packing Eric Lamela, who actually is not a terrible card. He's going to be good for this just because my team right now is at such a low stage that Eric Lamela is considered good comparatively to the rest of my squad, but I do not recommend Eric Lamela in general. Again, he's just going to be a guy who's going to go into an SBC for Tottenham eventually once the league SBCs come out. But right now, he's just going to go into the squad. He's got a really poor right foot. His stats have been nerfed throughout the course of the years. And, he's got a big fan base. A lot of people like Eric Lamela because he's Argentinian, but I just don't think he translates in FIFA very well. But right now, like I said, he's going to be okay. So we ended up picking up him. Then we went and bought Gedson Fernandez. I think he was the most expensive player we'd bought so far, which was like maybe about 1,500 coins or something like that. I can't remember. It was just only a couple seconds ago, but I forgot how much we paid for him. But he's going to be a good little holding midfielder there just in that formation. Decent little card. He's got very well-rounded stats. A cheap beast. I do recommend picking him up. And like I said, this was on Sunday, so his card has dropped even further. He's probably about 1,000 coins if I were to take a guess right now. But he's a guy who's going to hold that value. He's not going to get much cheaper. He's not going to get a whole lot more expensive. So I do recommend him. And we picked up Ollie Watkins. And Ollie Watkins I have on my main squad, or on my main team as well, my main account. Excuse me. And Ollie Watkins is a good little card. Very quick. Right now, I've said this 100 times, speed kills. He's just very fast. We want to get his inform. His inform actually came out last week, so he was available. He was like 30k, and then he just dropped to the floors. Everybody started packing him, so I think he was at like 10k at one point, and he's somewhere around there. He's out of packs now because the new team of the week came out yesterday, and so if we do want to pick him up, we got to pick him up pretty soon because his price is just going to slowly start to creep back up. And then what you guys are seeing now is actually the break from Sunday to today's footage. So today we went on to the account, decided to start chopping up some of the old footage there, and then added some new footage in. So you are seeing the squad battles rewards. They're actually from last Sunday. We did pack, we only got 2 packs because we finished Silver 3. But luckily enough, even though we packed no players that were of any value, we did get that Shadow card. I was really excited when I got the Shadow card. Shadow cards, I recommend doing one of two things. Either sell it right now I think they're going for 3,700, which was really disappointing because, like I said, I was really excited. Last year they were going for like 25k at one point, but there's so many people packing or just opening up packs that it was worthless. not worthless, but 3,700 for a shadow is really cheap. So I sold mine just because I want the coins, but you could either do that or you can hold it. Now, the danger with holding it is you're going to have to hold it for, I almost want to say a couple months, just because who knows how long it's going to take for these to go back up. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, as packs start coming out, they're just going to become more gold rare players packs, and guys are going to stop opening up these types of things, and you're going to see shadows get packed less and less and less. And once these promos start rolling in with all these special cards, guys are going to be buying players all the time, and shadows are always going to be in demand. Shadows and hunters. Catalysts are really good. They're actually very underrated. Not a lot of people like to buy catalysts. I do. I like to have passing and pace. I actually have catalysts on quite a few of my players in last year's game. But just the cheapest of the three, but still, expensive in itself. So I was happy I was able to flip that, which you guys will see how much I flip it for in a second. And then we just jumped into the SBCs. So I recommend doing these SBCs. As I mentioned, these are for beginners. They're not for novice or even expert players. These are for beginners. Like, get in there and just do this. And the reason that I say that is because even though the pack is only a gold players pack, you're only going to get one rare. The cost of this is it's something like 4K. So once you start dumping in the players that you have in your club, as you guys are seeing here, like, I hardly bought anybody. I bought a couple silver players. I think it ended up costing me about $2 or $3 grand to do this, and then all the rest was just stuff that I had in my club. Silver players, there's a bronze player in there, and essentially you're exchanging a mix of bronze, silver, and gold, like 11 of them for 12 gold cards, plus one which is going to be a rare card. So that rare card, you might pack something. Chances are you're probably not going to, just because the odds of getting anything good are so rare. But look, you're just filling up your club with fodder, and who knows, one of these rare or these non-rare cards might sell. It might not, but they're all just going to sit in your club. Worst case scenario, you just put them into SBCs later on. But you're exchanging garbage for slightly better garbage, if that makes any sense. But they are worth doing. I don't know what this one was from. This might have been an untradeable one, but yeah, these like gold packs, these gold player packs, like, they don't look like a whole lot, but you'd be surprised later on in the year how much some of these guys are actually going to go for, especially once the league SBCs come out. The other one I recommend doing is the beginner one, which you guys will see in a second. It's only like 1,000 coins to do that. You can just do it with all the crap that's in your club. But here you guys are seeing I just was able to sell the shadow for 3,700 coins, and then every single player right now is selling, and they're just going to go up as time goes on. They're just going to go up. Right now, the only reason these players are so cheap is because there's so many people playing, so many people dumping FIFA points into the game, and now's the time to buy these guys, because later on they're just going to go up. They're going to become less and less packed. The gold rare cards are, but like, they can't get much lower, right? There's so many people playing that the prices have totally bottomed out. For guys like myself, this is the best time to buy, because I haven't spent a cent on the game, and my team's rapidly approaching a team that I'm able to take online, where other guys have dumped a bunch of money. And of course, they've got way better teams, but my team will be able to catch up. And who spent less? I haven't spent any money on the game so far, and eventually I'll be able to take this team online. You could probably even take it online right now. You might get killed, but I've hardly put any time into it. I've put maybe 10 hours into this game total, and I'm just building and building and building, and it's quickly going to get to that point where I can play it. So that last SBC that you guys saw, that one was the other one I recommend doing. Now, you are only getting one gold card, but it's 75 plus. So look, I got an 80 rated card, and I gave up 4 bronze players that I don't need and 2 silver cards that I don't need. And that's it. They don't even have to link. I think the actual SBC had chemistry in it that didn't even require you to have any guys that link from the same nation or same nationality or same league or anything. You could just dump 4 bronzes, 2 silvers, and next thing you know, you've got 1 gold 75 plus rated card. So for this, this was us going in, and I think we had like something like 5.7k. I was able to go and do this SBC for a 50k pack. So really what you need is one league, which we chose the Bundesliga. I just looked at the players that I had in my club. I had an 81 rated Javi Martinez. I had an 82 rated, I can't even remember who that right mid was, Bellarabi from the German league. And I just filled in the rest of the players for, I think it was about 6,000. We took some of the players that we packed from the Squad Battles rewards. We discarded them, I think 3 or 4 of them. That gave us another K. And with all of that, I was able to buy every single card that we needed in order to put together this team. So in total, it cost us about 6K to do this, right? 6K for a 50K pack. So what you guys are seeing here is that even though we got all the players, there was a couple of position changes we need to do. I just went and got them on bid, 150 coins on bid, right back to right wing back to left wing back, and I think I had the left mid to left forward already in my club. There you go. Every single card that we got, not one of them was over 1,000 coins. Even the 82 rated cards, we have 4 82 rated cards and none of them cost over 1,000 coins. So I was able to do that dirt cheap. It gave us a 50K pack, and that's unbelievable at this stage in FIFA. A 50K pack, it's like literally, no pun intended, it's like gold. So opening up that 50K pack, this will show you guys why this is worth doing. And then if you can do the rest of them, they're just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as you go along. You'll also get a rare mega pack, which is also going to have a whole lot of value. But this rare players pack is like the best pack you can get at this point, short of something out of draft. But we ended up packing 87 rated Hugo Larisse. So this card is going for about 37, 38K right now. You could keep them, but I don't recommend it. I just recommend selling them and using the coins. Like, we need to just fill out our squad with kind of all these cheap beasts that are hanging around. So he's going to be worth some. Thiago Silva is about 5.5K. Isco is about 3 or 4K. Higuain, Ozil, they're about 1,500. But you'll see what we'll do with each of these. And then the rest of the stuff is just going to go in the club. So Isco, because we're not building a La Liga team, I'm going to put him up for 3,200. Larisse sold for, I think it was 37K, if I'm not mistaken. The reason I sold Larisse was just because as I mentioned, I just want to sell him, get that 37K, and use that to fill in all those gaps, because there's way better cards out there than just an 87 rated keeper. Higuain wasn't going for a lot. I think he was under 2K, and I'm going to put him in the club, and I'm going to keep Thiago Silva because he's only about 5. And the reason I say that is because those cards are just going to go up. Now, Isco, I could have said the same thing about Isco. I probably recommend keeping him if you have him, but right now I just needed, some coins to get players. However, the rest of those guys, Thiago Silva, Higuain, and all those other players, I'm just going to keep in the club. The rest is fodder. But Thiago Silva, once players like the Icon SBCs come out, that card is going to be, it's going to jump up in price. It's not going to get cheaper than 5K for an 85 rated card. A lot of these SBCs, especially even at Christmas, the Futmas is going to come out. All these guys are going to require, all these solutions are going to require 85 rated players. And guys like Thiago, if you're going to invest in a guy like Thiago Silva. 5K for that card. He's going to go up. He's going to be easy to link. He's Brazilian, center back, plays in the EPL. He's just going to go through the roof. So if you have the money, I suggest just buying a bunch of them when they're bottom out and just have them in your club, because he's just going to go up and up and up. If anything, he'll double in price, if not more. But yeah, right now it's not about investing, because I'm not trying to show people how to buy and sell. I'm not like a world famous trader or anything like that. But I do think that is that one's a no-brainer to me. For an 85 rated card at 5K, that's super, super cheap. We also ended up picking up Ollie Watkins, so we sold our other one, and we picked up the even better, the informed version. He was going for about 30K, but he dropped down to 10, but because he was out of packs, he was starting to creep up. So there were a couple of guys that were posting them for 10K, but I didn't want to sit there and try to snipe with these bots and these rats that are just online trying to buy them. They're not even up for a second and they're already sold. So I ended up paying 12K, and even then I had to be quick to buy it. So 12K. He came with a Catalyst card. I ended up, changing that, because even though I like Catalyst, I do need his shooting to jump up through the roof. So we ended up buying a Hawk. He was 400 coins for the Hawk card. We put that on him because that boosts the pace, it boosts the shooting, and it boosts the physical stats on him. And that's going to be what's really important, especially his top 4 stats, which are going to be his 2 pace stats, which is sprint speed and acceleration. Acceleration is crazy important on a card. I dare say it's even more important than sprint speed, which you guys are going to see here. So there's the stats: 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. Not fantastic, but it's okay. But the acceleration I really need to get up. His sprint speed's high, but acceleration is how quickly he can actually accelerate. So that's so important, especially in the most recent FIFAs. And then attacking position and finishing. I need those up. 85 and 83 are good, but they need to be better. I think for a striker, those top left 4 are the most important stats you're going to see for anybody who's a goal scorer for you. For your strikers, those are so critical. So that's my recommendation of what to look for in a striker. We also ended up playing another squad battles game where we took the team offline, was able to use Ollie Watkins. He was decent. He wasn't fantastic. He felt rapid, but I think that was also because the rest of my team felt quite slow. He wasn't exactly like a world beater, but he was quite quick comparatively. But also the team that we played had some really good cards on it. When we're playing like the Mbappe team, he had Sergio Ramos, he had like Zidane and a couple other guys in there. So you didn't really get to see how good Ollie Watkins is. Look, at the end of the day, he's an 81 rated card. He's going to discard for 10 if we have to discard him, but I think his price will just slowly creep back up. He'll go for about 12, anywhere from 12 to 15, I think is probably reasonable. And then eventually he'll just kind of bottom out again once better strikers come out. But right now he's one of the better EPL guys just because he's fast and he's cheap. We end up also picking up a bunch of this stuff, a bunch of TIFOs and stuff for like the stadium, which is like building your own personal stadium, but I don't really care that much about it. It's just something that's going on in the background. We get a couple more coin boosts, which are very important. I think those stack, so if you're on like 3 games left on your coin boost, if you get another 5, it takes you to like 8 games. So we just need as many of those as possible. They used to have a catalog where you could unlock a whole bunch of them, but I guess they've gotten rid of that, which is really unfortunate because I actually like being able to go buy, especially like 1,000 coin bonuses. Those were so valuable. And then we end up getting a 2-player pack here where we get Henderson. So kind of karma, even though we sold Hugo Larisse, we end up picking up another goalkeeper that will just slot right into the squad. And I'm actually excited to use Dean Henderson because I like him in real life. As a Man U fan, I'm excited to have him in the team. And then I picked up Alexander Lacazette, 4K, 4,400 coins. Now, this card is one that I get kind of made fun of. Lacazette's a guy that I've bought in every year. But the reason that I'm saying this is because even though his stats have dropped, he's gone from an 86 to, I think it was an 88 one year. He went to 86, 85 to 83 this year. They've actually nerfed his pace quite a bit. The card is still very good. Lacazette is one of those guys that, I don't have a personal animosity towards Arsenal, but I'm also not an Arsenal supporter. But Alexander Lacazette is just a card that translates really well in FIFA. So it's made me like him in real life because of how well he plays in FIFA. He's just so good. You can tell the difference. He was an even better striker than Ollie Watkins was for me. Just because even though he's only 83 rated, the card is just good. His pace has been nerfed, but when you throw a Hawk on 400 coins for the Hawk chemistry style, it's going to get his pace up to plus 80 again. But his shooting, his passing, and his dribbling are what sets him apart. Like, he's just a really, really well-rounded card, especially his shooting. As you guys are going to see here on his attributes, he's 4-star, 4-star. But once we get that Hawk on him, it's going to jack up his pace to over 80. And his shooting stats are already very good, which is all I really care about. When you get a guy like him in front of goal, you need a guy that's going to score. You can't afford to have guys that miss opportunities, and Lacazette is just a guy who scores goals. So to get that card for 4K, some people might even think that's too expensive. To me, that's really undervalued. And the whole reason for it is because people look at his pace. If he was 84 pace or higher, he would be 10 times this. He would be 40K, right? He would be well expensive. But people just look at it and they just go, oh, he's too slow. But honestly, guys, I swear he's deceptively faster than he looks. But his stats are so well-rounded. He's going to be a great striker, especially for you guys that are watching the series that are looking to get like cheap beasts. He's going to be a very, very good cheap beast. So I highly recommend that card. I'm really happy to have him and Ollie Watkins as my strike combo for a team that I've spent no money on. That's all I can really ask. And now it's just a matter of building out the rest of the team. So we move into a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I don't necessarily love 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but we'll get into that later once gameplay becomes a lot more important. But I did want to upgrade some other positions. I wanted to pick up this Regulon card. Now, this card is a card that you're going to see people using in FUT Champs, right? Which is the competitive game mode. You can get him for 2,700 coins or something like that, like 2,700 coins. Fantastic. This Giovanni Lo Celso, 77 pace, well-rounded stats, 1,000 coins. Like, incredible. And then this card, James Madison, I almost got one for 750, 800 coins. I was happy to pay that. This card is very, very good. I've used these cards online. Regulon's very good, but this James Madison, one of the best valued cards in the game right now. A lot of people look at it and not think too much of it, but incredible. For 800 coins, like this guy, you could use him online. Now, when I say online, I'm not talking about going and competing against, like, I'm not talking about playing against like the world's greatest players. I'm talking about playing against some guy in Division 5. That's realistically where I'm talking about. Like, to put these guys into your squad, you know, they're nothing. This is nothing, right? Like, I don't even think you really need to go get this chemistry style. I just went and got it just because I wanted to put it on Sergio Regulon. I thought he was going to need a little bit of a defensive boost there, and I always like, if I'm buying a chemistry style, I'm going to buy one that's got pace. Said this a million times, speed kills. I always make sure that I put chemistry styles that have pace attached to it. The anchors were a little bit more expensive than I wanted, but I was like, I'm only going to get the one, or else I would have gotten one for that Tomori as well. But Tomori, 1,100 coins, a center back with 80 plus pace. You know, this team is looking a lot more well-rounded, right? So there you have a pretty good team that I'm a lot more confident taking into a game. We do need to improve the CDM spot. We do need to improve the right back, but we can do that at a later date. I'm not super concerned about that. Right now, considering, you know, we spent very little. I think we spent, with all those players, we spent about 10K to get those last four guys. The whole team in general, you know, taking Ollie Watkins, because I don't think you have to get an informed version. You know, this team is what, 20K with him in it, something like that, right? And I haven't spent a single cent, right? I've spent, you know, anywhere between 5 to 10 hours in this game. Not even that much. Like, it's gone by pretty quickly. That might sound like a lot, but when you're playing FIFA, honestly, time just flies. Like, you end up sitting here, next thing you know, you're playing the game for 4 or 5 hours. But I've jumped on this game like maybe 3 times. And look at my team. It's already at a point where I feel confident playing with it. And now it's just going to improve. And very shortly, we'll be able to take it online. We could probably even take it online right now. It's just right at this point, I'm more concerned with getting my squad battle points up. And then once it's just a little bit better, once I get 1 or 2 better players in there and I kind of feel like I've got somebody that I can get behind and feel confident taking them online, we'll go ahead and do that. But as I've said a million times, there's going to be a ton of online stuff, guys. There's going to be a lot of gameplay in this series. Right now, it's just getting out of the gates, right? Just getting out of the gates, getting your team going. So that's going to be most of today's episode. What you guys are seeing just at the very end here is just some vanity stuff. I wanted to pick up a couple kits, and I wanted to get that DC United badge because we have had that. Being a FUT founder, I've had that literally as long as MLS has been in the game. So I think the first year they didn't have MLS, so I used the PSG badge, the PSG kit. I've been a fan for a really long time of PSG, but I've had the DC United badge, so it's just tradition. We have to go get it, and we ended up picking up for 150 coins. So that is going to be the end of today's episode, guys. I appreciate if you could leave a like down below on the video, any comments you have, and thank you for watching all the way to the very end. Any feedback you guys have, let me know. I'm here to help. And until episode 3, guys, take care. Peace.